Hello, dear students. Welcome back to the online classes on the topic oscillations. In this class, I am going to discuss about the oscillations of a loaded spring in the horizontal direction. When the load is attached to the spring, it is always displaced slightly from its mean position and then released. It performs the simple harmonic motion. According to the definition of simple harmonic motion, any object it performs the any object it performs the simple harmonic motion. In that case, the force is directly proportional to displacement of the particle and it is always directed towards its mean position, or the acceleration of the particle is directed towards its mean position. You get the equation according to the force law in simple harmonic motion. F is equal to minus k into y. Here in this class, I am going to explain the oscillations of a loaded spring in horizontal direction. From using this concept, we can calculate the time period and the frequency of oscillation due to this loaded spring in horizontal direction. Here I consider the spring constant with a K. One end of the spring is attached with a rigid support and other to the block of mass m. Here, one end is attached to the rigid support. This is called the mean position, and the mass is attached to this spring. Here the block of mass is attached to the spring. The block is free to move, or it is free to move on the frictionless horizontal surface. This is frictionless horizontal surface. This block is free to move on a frictionless horizontal surface. Suppose this block is slightly displaced. This block is slightly displaced. The spring gets elongated, or the spring is stretched along the opposite direction, of the restoring force. When the block is released, it executes the simple harmonic motion about the mean position. The spring gets elongated and the restoring force. The spring gets elongated and the restoring force is produced in that spring. Therefore, if the block is displaced towards the right position, the block is displaced towards the right position through a small displacement y. The restoring force produced in this spring, that is F is equal to minus k into y. F is equal to minus k into y. Here, the negative sign in this equation, it shows that the force and displacement, they are oppositely directed. But according to the Newton's second law, F is equal to ma, force is equal to mass into acceleration. From using these two equations, here ma is equal to minus k into y. Ma is equal to minus k into y, or a is equal to minus k divided by m into y. A is equal to minus k divided by m into y. This is equation number 3. But according to the acceleration of the simple harmonic motion, A is equal to omega square into y. A is equal to omega square into y. Here, this is oscillation due to the loaded spring in the horizontal direction. It performs the simple harmonic motion. Therefore, the acceleration of the particle executing simple harmonic motion equation, that is A is equal to minus omega square into y. This is equation number 4. A is equal to minus omega square into y. Compare the equation 3 and 4. Compare equation 3 and 4. Here equation number 3 and 4. When you compare equation number 3 and 4, we get minus omega square into y is equal to minus k divided by m into y. Minus omega square y is equal to minus k divided by m into y. From equation 3 and 4. Here minus omega square y is equal to minus km divided by y ಇದೆ. minus y and minus y cancel ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ನಾವು equation ಅನ್ನು. ಉಳಿತಕ್ಕಂತದ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಎಷ್ಟು? omega square is equal to k divided by m. Omega square is equal to k divided by m, or omega is equal to root of k divided by m. Omega is equal to root of k divided by m. But you know the formula omega, this is the angular velocity. Angular velocity means the rate of change of displacement, 2 phi divided by t. T is 1 by t is equal to f. From using this value, omega is equal to 2 phi f. This is the angular frequency. Omega is equal to root of k divided by m. Here omega is equal to value ಎಷ್ಟಾಯಿತು 2 phi f. 2 phi f is equal to root of k divided by m. 2 phi f is equal to root of k divided by m, or the frequency f is equal to 1 divided by 2 phi root of k divided by m. Frequency f is equal to 1 divided by 2 phi root of k divided by m. This is equation number 5. This equation gives the expression for frequency of a oscillation of a loaded spring in the horizontal direction. F equal to 1 by 2 phi root of k divided by m. ಈ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾವನ್ನು ನೀವು ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಸ್ಪ್ರಿಂಗ್ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಂಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದಿರಿ. F is equal to 1 divided by 2 phi root of k divided by m. This is the expression for frequency of the oscillation of a loaded spring. Then the time period of expression for the oscillation of a loaded spring. Here you get the equation frequency. Directly you can write the equation. Frequency f is equal to 1 divided by 2 phi root of k divided by m. This is the expression for frequency of the oscillations of a loaded spring in the horizontal direction. The reciprocal of time period is called frequency, or the number of oscillations taken in 1 second is called frequency. Therefore, f equal to, or time period t is equal to 1 by f is equal to 2 phi root of m divided by k. T is equal to 2 phi root of m divided by k, which is the expression for the time period of a oscillation of a simple harmonic motion in case of loaded spring along the horizontal direction. The frequency of the simple harmonic motion, that is f equal to 1 by 2 phi root of k divided by m in case of oscillation of a spring in the horizontal direction, and this is the expression for time period of the simple harmonic motion along the horizontal direction, or the oscillations of a spring constant in horizontal direction. This is about the spring constant. And the next concept of your topic, that is another experiment already you have performed in your laboratory, that is simple pendulum. These are the best examples for oscillations. These are to and fro motion or back and forth motion about its mean position ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಇವು ಎರಡು ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಕೂಡ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ in this topic, that is the simple pendulum. Here a heavy point mass that is suspended by weightlessness or inextensible and perfectly flexible string fixed with rigid support, then it is called simple pendulum. It is called a simple pendulum. Here simple pendulum ಏನೇನಿರುತ್ತೆ ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಪೆಂಡುಲಮ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ನೀವು ಇದನ್ನು ಡಿಫೈನ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಪೆಂಡುಲಮ್ ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನ. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಎ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಸ್ಪೆರಿಕಲ್ ಬಾಬ್. It is a small spherical bob suspended by a long cotton thread and held between the two halves of a clamped split cork with a stand. ನೀವು ಇದನ್ನು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿದಿರಿ, ರೈಟ್? That bob is considered a point mass and the string is taken to be inextensible. The pendulum can oscillate freely about the point of the suspension, but when the pendulum is displaced through a small distance, pendulum is displaced through a small distance. Pendulum is displaced through a small distance here from its mean position. When the pendulum is displaced through a small position, or distance from its equilibrium position, then let it free. It executes the angular simple harmonic motion about its equilibrium position. But The distance between the point of suspension and the center of gravity of that bob, it defines the length of the pendulum. Here, the force is acting on the bob. It is resolved into two components. Resolved into two components. That is very important in this concept. Here, consider a simple pendulum. It consists of a small bob. It consists of a small bob. This is called bob anta ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು. Yeah, it consists of a bob, small bob, and it is tied to a light string of length L. The other end of the string is tied to the rigid support. When the bob is displaced slightly through an angle theta, slightly through an angle theta, here the bob is displaced through a slightly through an angle theta from the mean position, then it is released. It starts oscillating simply horizontal about its mean position. But here the forces acting on the bob are the forces acting on the bob at this position. The forces acting on the bob are, that is, weight of the bob. Weight means the mass is multiplied with acceleration due to gravity. The mass is multiplied with acceleration due to gravity. The weight of the bob, mc, that is acting vertically downwards. That is acting vertically downwards. The weight of the bob, mc, acting vertically downwards, and the tension in the string, and the tension in the string, that is acting along upwards or acting along the string. mc, the weight of the bob, is acting downwards, and tension in the string, that is acted upwards. Here we resolve the weight into two components. Weight into two components. mc cos theta, which is along the radius, means which is along the tension in the string, and mc sin theta, which is along the tangent of the oscillations of the simple harmonic motion. When it is resolved into two components along the x-axis and along the y-axis, the mg is resolved into two components like mg cos theta and mg sin theta. This is called vector resolution method. The weight of the bob is acting vertically downwards, and tension in the string acting along the string towards the point of suspension. The weight is resolved into two components, mg cos theta and mg sin theta. But here the component of mg cos theta is balanced by the tension in the string, and unbalanced component, that is mg sin theta, that acts always towards its mean position, that is called restoring force, which is tends to bring the back to the mean position, tends to bring back of that bob to the mean position. Here the restoring force acting on that bob, the restoring force acting on that bob. Here the restoring force acting on that bob, actually you know the formula, F is equal to minus k into I. But here in this concept, the restoring force acting on this bob, the restoring force acting on this bob is here m, mass is multiplied with acceleration due to gravity, that is m into g. M into g, it is always directed towards its mean position, minus mg sin theta. F equal to minus mg sin theta. Here also the negative sign indicates force and displacement, they are in oppositely directed. Force and displacement, they are in oppositely directed. But here in this case, sin theta is nearly equivalent to theta. Theta is, it is a very small, it is nearly equivalent to theta. Then you get the equation F is equal to minus mg into theta. F equal to minus mg into theta. From using vector method, the weight of the bob is resolved into two components along the tension in the string and along the radius or along the tangent. From using this concept, we can derive the next concept, F equal to minus m into g theta ಬಂದಿದೆ valuably. F equal to minus m into g theta. Here, according to the simple harmonic motion concept, the force is directly proportional towards its mean position, that is F equal to minus mg into sine theta. This is equation number 1. But from this equation number 1, when you consider sine theta is nearly equal to theta, we get only equation F equal to minus mg into theta. This is equation number 2. But according to the Newton's second law of motion, from Newton's second law of motion, that is F equal to ma. From Newton's second law of motion, F equal to ma. This is equation number 3. Compare these two equations. Here ma is equal to minus mg into theta. ma equal to minus mg into theta, minus m or m and m, they are get cancelled. A equal to minus g into theta. This is equation number 4. A equal to minus g into theta. But here from this diagram, theta is the angular displacement. From this diagram, theta is equal to, this is angular displacement. Theta is equal to, here y, suppose if you take y is the displacement of the particle. Here this is the maximum displacement. Theta is equal to y divided by L. Theta is equal to y divided by L. This is also called arc length anta kariteve. Theta is equal to y divided by L. This is also called arc length. A is equal to minus g into theta. A equal to minus g into theta. But from using that diagram here, theta is equal to y by L. Therefore, we get acceleration A equal to minus g into y by L. Acceleration A equal to minus g into y by L. This is equation number 4. Here y by L, that is constant, or A is directly proportional to minus y. A is directly proportional to minus y. Here the equation 5, it shows that the acceleration of the bob of the simple pendulum is directly proportional to displacement, and the direction of the acceleration is opposite to the direction of motion of the displacement. Hence, the motion of the bob is simple harmonic. Again, we apply the acceleration of the simple harmonic motion, that is A equal to minus omega square into y. A equal to minus omega square into y. From equation 5 and 6. From equation 5 and 6. Equation number 5 is 6 is, that is minus omega square y. Minus omega square y is equal to minus g into y divided by L. Minus g into y divided by L. Again, minus y and minus y, they are getting cancelled. Omega square equal to g divided by L only, or omega is equal to root of g divided by L. Omega is equal to root of g divided by L, and omega is equal to, this is 2 pi divided by t. Angular displacement divided by time period. 2 phi divided by t is equal to g divided by L. 2 phi divided by t is equal to root of g divided by L, or 1 by t is equal to 1 by t is equal to 1 divided by 2 phi root of g divided by L. 1 by t is equal to 1 divided by 2 phi root of g divided by L. Then time period t is equal to 2 phi root of L divided by g. T is equal to 2 phi root of L divided by g. This is equation number 7. T equal to 2 phi root of L divided by g, which is the expression for time period of the simple pendulum when it performs the simple harmonic motion. Here in the second unit, in case of units and measurements, that is also already we have studied the time period of the simple pendulum by using dimensional analysis method. And here it is the expression for time period without dimensional analysis method. T is equal to 2 phi root of L by g. This is called the expression for the time period of oscillation of a simple pendulum. Here the T denotes on L and g does not depends on mass of the bob of the simple pendulum. mass of the bob of the simple pendulum. And from using this equation, again you can find the frequency, that is f equal to 1 by t. F equal to 1 by t, that is f equal to 1 divided by 25 root of g divided by L. ಈ ರೀತಿನೂ ಕೂಡ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ನಾವು equation. This is the frequency of the simple pendulum. ಇಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಪೆಂಡುಲಮ್ ಎಂಬತಕ್ಕಂಥ ವರ್ಡ್ ಅನ್ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಲಾ ಆಫ್ ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಪೆಂಡುಲಮ್. ಹಿಯರ್ ಇಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಸರ್ಟೆನ್ ಲಾಸ್. ದ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್ ಈಸ್ ಲಾ ಆಫ್ ಲೆಂತ್. ಸಪೋಸ್ ನೀವು ಥ್ರೆಡ್ದು ಲೆಂತ್ ಅನ್ನು ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂತ ಹೋದ್ರಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗತ್ತೆ ಆ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂವನ್ನು ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಫಸ್ಟ್. ಹಿಯರ್ ದ ಟೈಮ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಪೆಂಡುಲಮ್ ಈಸ್ that is directly proportional to the square root of its length. The time period of simple pendulum is directly proportional to square root of its length. T is directly proportional to square roots of its length, right? And then the second law is, that is called law of acceleration due to gravity. The time period of simple pendulum, that is inversely proportional to square root of its acceleration due to gravity. These are the two important laws in case of simple pendulum experiment. The first law is the time period of the simple pendulum, that is directly proportional to square root of its length. That is called the square of the time period ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. The square of the time period of the simple pendulum is directly proportional to its length, or the time period of the simple pendulum is directly proportional to square root of its length. And the second law, it states that the time period of the simple pendulum is inversely proportional to the square root of its acceleration due to gravity. The acceleration due to gravity value is very high, the time period is very low. The acceleration due to gravity value is very low, then the time period is very high. Yeah. And the third law is, that is law of mass. The time period of simple pendulum, it does not depends on its mass, because t equal to 2 pi square root of z by L is the formula. But it is independent of its mass. The time period of the simple pendulum, it does not depends on its mass. And isochronism anta ಕರೀತೀವಿ ನಾವು. Isochronism means it is amplitude. The time period of the simple pendulum, it does not depends upon its amplitude. Amplitude means the maximum displacement of the particle from its mean position is called amplitude. But the time period of the simple pendulum, it does not depends on its amplitude. On what factors the time period of the simple pendulum is depends? The square of the time period of the planet, or the time period of the simple pendulum is directly proportional to square root of its length. The square of the time period of the planet, or the time period of the simple pendulum, not planet, the time period of the simple pendulum is directly proportional to square root of its length. And the time period of the simple pendulum is inversely proportional to its acceleration due to gravity. That is second law. And the third law is law of mass. The time period of the simple pendulum, it does not depends upon its mass. It depends on its only length and acceleration due to gravity, and it does not depends upon its amplitude. The time period of the simple pendulum is does not depends on its amplitude. This is called law of isochronism. This is called law of isochronism. Define the law of isochronism ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಬಹುದು ಒಂದು ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್. ಅವಾಗ ಏನಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು ನೀವು? The time period of simple pendulum does not depends upon its magnitude or amplitude. It is called isochronism. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅದರ ಲೆಂತ್? ಹೌ ಟು ಫೈಂಡ್ ದ ಲೆಂತ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಪೆಂಡುಲಮ್? t equal to 2 square root of L by z. This is the standard formula. For the seconds pendulum, t is equal to 2 seconds. By the definition of the simple pendulum, t2 is equal to 2 then here L divided by z. Here t get cancelled. We get only formula 1 equal to 5. 1 equal to 5 into root of L divided by z. Here L is equal to g divided by 5 square. The length of the string used in the simple pendulum is, that is 1 meter. For this purpose, L is equal to g divided by 5 square. Therefore, we get this answer. This is called the length of the seconds pendulum. This is called length of the seconds pendulum. When you squaring on both sides, the length of the seconds pendulum is that is nearly about 1 meter. When you draw the graph between L versus acceleration due to gravity, L versus acceleration due to gravity, or using the slope, you can calculate the time period of the simple pendulum or acceleration due to gravity in this experiment. ನೀವು ಮಾಡಿರ್ತೀರ ಅದನ್ನ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಪೆಂಡುಲಮ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಡಿಫೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ? ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಪೆಂಡುಲಮ್ ಆಫ್ the time period 2 seconds, that is called second pendulum. The time period of the simple pendulum, the time period of the simple pendulum is 2 seconds. The time period of the simple pendulum is 2 seconds, and it depends on its acceleration due to gravity and length of that thread and it is independent of its mass, and it is independent from its amplitude. That is also called isochronism. That is also called isochronism. This is about the experiment, spring constant and simple pendulum. And in the next class I will discuss about the concept of, in the next class I will discuss about the concept of free oscillation, forced oscillation, and damped undamped oscillation with resonant frequency and ರೆಸೊನೆನ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಬೀಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ನಾವು. ಆ ರೀತಿ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟನ್ನು ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ. ಇನ್ ದ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಫಿನಿಶ್ ದಿಸ್ ಟಾಪಿಕ್. ಓಕೆ.